Partnered by Times Influence.
The first-of-its-kind digital program aimed to help marketers understand why consumers abandon purchase journeys. Facebook announced a zero-friction future program and launched a report titled Eliminating Friction in Automobile Path to Purchase, along with KPMG. We bring you the highlights of the mega event.
7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 consumers who go to pick up an automotive vehicle in the urban markets are using mobile as a device to suggest what they should do. Facebook is a large component of that mobile universe, and it's only beginning to increase. What we are doing, therefore, with this whole project is to look at every area of friction and think through ideas and solutions that can help the industry drive volumes and bring efficiency in costs.
Consumer behavior is changing rapidly, and companies need to up the ante to satisfy consumer needs. But before we get there, let's first understand what is friction.
What is a zero friction future? So let's start. This is the most important question we are all battling today, right? What's the future of business going to look like? We want to know what are the trends that could help shape the future of business. We want to know how we can imagine, define, and change that future for us. The way we could find what the cards hold for us when it comes to answering what is the future of business going to look like. Let's go on a quick journey of reimagination. Let's reimagine how consumer journeys could be, what the future of some of our consumer journeys, what they could look like. What if you could send an emoji on any social channel and the pizza got delivered to you? That's it. And imagine if you could do a test drive at the comfort of the home. No more frustration of booking an appointment with a dealer, finding the time to do the test drive, and not having that frustration to go there and find out that the model and the variant that you actually wanted to test drive is not available. And even far future out, what if you just didn't need to spend time on speech and typing? They could also become redundant. What if you could just buy something by firing neurons in your brain? And this is all artificial intelligence, and this could be a reality for all we know. The future could be on us faster than we can expect and imagine. The heart of the issue and the heart of the matter is that consumers are not interested in long purchase journeys. And that's why the emergence of download now, shop now, fly now, friction is frustrating, right? As consumers, if you're made to wait for things that you want now, but you're not able to get now, that causes frustration. And what does it do? The moment there is some kind of friction, consumers drop out of the journey. Either they bounce off the purchase journey or they defer their purchase journey. For example, in the case of auto, if they didn't buy it in this purchase cycle, maybe they will buy it in the next purchase cycle. Every consumer lost is a business lost for the business. This is a traditional funnel, the purchase funnel as we call it, from awareness to consideration to intent to purchase. And every stage of the funnel is the way it is because at every stage, people drop off from the funnel. And that's called friction. And what happens is that at every stage of this journey, from awareness to consideration is friction, which we call as awareness friction. From consideration to intent is what we call as consideration friction. From intent to purchase is what we call as intent friction. So what does this solve? The answer is right in our hands, actually. Mobile can help reduce friction. Mobile journeys, at the end of the day, have lower friction than average consumer journeys. And this is probably what the future could be. A funnel will no longer be a funnel. A funnel will be a circular continuum. That's what mobile can do. It can just flatten the consumer journey altogether. The future belongs to businesses who can meet the consumers now.
It's now time to get insights from the report. Let's understand what is friction in context of the auto industry.
Facebook partnered with AC Nielsen to provide us the data, and that was phenomenal because they went around the 6 cities across India. And the report does have the methodology that's used to actually go deep into the minds of what we believe understanding the multidimensional customer. So what we have done is the report is divided into a 4-wheeler section and a 2-wheeler because we wanted to provide dedicated focus. What works for one doesn't necessarily copy and paste it into the other. the format and the methodology is the same. The research is also very similar in nature, so you can see a consistency in the approach that we've. Great. You remember, and we're going to kind of use the funnel for the next 15-odd minutes to kind of remain on the same funnel. Awareness, consideration, intent, purchase. Overall, in the auto side, which is four-wheeler side, it's about 1/3 of this is media friction, which is a relatively large number given that a lot of the total population actually doesn't go into the funnel because there is a consideration set in terms of who the buyer is, who the decision maker is. And given that that's a large number, in fact, friction accounts for 1/4 of the consumer dropouts, which is significantly large given the fact that if I have to increase my awareness decision makers and just be on this funnel, my ability to start influencing and making those decisions and helping them through the purchase cycle increases significantly. Having said this, what kind of examples that we could hear from people? Awareness friction. Prospect finds too little information. Now, this is a world of where information has been democratized, but we still believe, and thousands of them, in fact, AC Nielsen talked about 3,000 of prospects through the entire survey, where this was the top few. Consideration, no expert advice or answers available. People still believe, and I'm going to show it a slide in a minute, where you still believe that the physical person still has the least friction, because he's able to create the trust factor because there is no barrier of an interface. And eventually the intent. Intent is almost right there. You're almost ready to pay, the bank loan is approved, or you have a check, you want to pop it up and buy, but not able to easily contact brand or dealership representative. Now, this can be very, very easily solved. This is really tactical. This is not strategic in nature. But that's what customers are telling us. Okay, two-wheelers. How is it any different? Well, definitely, because there are some of the cities that we picked up, Pune, for example, where we did this. It's a two-wheeler. They love it out there. And the friction points are almost half in this case, which is 1/3 friction of consumer dropouts. And the media friction is 16%. Total friction is about 34%. Just to recap, total friction, when you say friction, it could be for 20 other reasons. It's like your favorite color. Mera wala green is not there, versus the kind of brand that you're looking for. Media friction is limited to the media through which you are interacting with the customer or the end consumer. So just a quick recap of what those two columns mean here. Again, a bunch of examples of what was important. Ads are not visual enough, or prospects did not pay enough attention to ads. Now, bikers, I do know we have some elite, bikers or brands out there. There are the mass market brands, the affluent category. Each one of us playing on a strength. Great products, but is that the messaging which is going around with it, and the choice of media, and the platform on which the message is getting delivered? I think these three kind of are not triangulating possibly on the awareness stage. Consideration is very similar. The expert is needed. So is there innovation that is going to happen? Possibly when we talk the friction busters, we're going to see what is the possibility out here in terms of use of AI or robotics, chatbots. Is there something that can be done around it? Intent still continues to be this very similar. Preferred vehicle was not available for the test drive, which meant that I went, but there was not enough availability. And this is a perennial issue because you do have limited stock, or you do have limited vehicles for test drives, whether it's cars or bikes. And when you go there, you're not able to do it. Can you do the entire journey end-to-end on a mobile? Okay, so that was the looking at data outside in for your categories. And we provided a synopsis. The report has further details, so we'll encourage you to download it or grab a copy if you can. Opportunities unlocked. Now, this is the interesting bit. PD kind of put a challenge up there to grab your attention so that you guys will be all engaged for the time of this report release that if we move the needle by a few percentage, just about a 1.2% for four-wheelers, we have a huge opportunity universe that could be addressable. And what is also very interesting is the number next to it. And in fact, I can stick in my neck out and say that there's a 14.7% reduction in consumer acquisition costs by shifting media spends. And this can start Monday morning. The numbers can reach whenever they have to. But if we can start looking at our assets, how the journeys are getting managed, how are we using our digital journey on our mobile, this can be a very, very quick start right on Monday, creating a roadmap or a plan. Move to two-wheelers, we're looking at about 1.6% reduction, about 2.6 million is the number out there. That's a large number. So it's 8 to 15% is a large number given the base that we are. And I think it's very interesting because we're shifting where the friction is, identifying those issues, trying to remove them, taking some of the journeys completely digital, some omni, and choosing horses to courses. We're not saying for once that you go ahead and fix and one journey answers it.
Welcome back. Facebook's Zero Friction Future initiative is a program to help advertisers understand reasons for friction that causes business losses and helps them with solutions to reduce friction for higher sales. We bring you the highlights from the second half of the event.
We've, of course, heard the fantastic presentation and what it is that this white paper is actually thrown up. I don't know how many of you had any idea about this. Puneet, I'll come to you first. So did you know that the conversion rate was as small as 7%? Did you have any idea that this is what you at Hyundai were missing out on, that that's all you could convert?
No, actually, you know, we at Hyundai have been consistently working towards enhancing the experience of the consumers, both on the offline as well as on the online world. And I think today this session also gives us a lot of insights into what is missing at our level, which can further strengthen that feel as far as customer experience is concerned.
Tell us, and tell everyone here, have you innovated, have you flirted with digital? How's the experience been?
Well, actually, last 4 years or so, our journey in Hyundai especially, I can tell you, our spends on the digital media have actually gone by 8 times. So that's the kind of, I can reveal you, that the spends have actually gone 8-fold as far as our digital spends are concerned. And well, that is also the fact, because today when we talk of a consumer journey, out of the 26 touch points which he is having before he starts thinking of buying a car or a two-wheeler, 21 touch points are on the digital front. So out of 26 touch points, 21 points are on the digital front. So I think it's the time for us as a marketeer and as a seller of the automobiles that those 21 points should be as much frictionless as possible.
I'm going to go to Ford now, to Rahul. Your competitor, Hyundai, saying he's increasing his spend on digital 8 times. Are you guys doing the same? Have you flirted with digital? I know you guys did one very interesting initiative.
So I think being a small player or a kind of a niche player, I would say, in terms of how we operate in what segments, I think it gives us the opportunity to flirt a lot. So we do flirt a lot on digital. If I stick my neck out, we basically we are on the highest side of percentage media investment on digital as a medium. And then that allows us to kind of experiment, test and fail and learn.
Pardon my very bad Facebook analogy here. Yeah. You flirt online, then is
not
it
on Facebook?
And then is it complicated? Are you in a relationship? What is it?
I think the intent is so. Firstly, I think a lot of what we've gone through, frankly, I didn't find it surprising. I think it's very intuitive, and this is what we expected. The question for us is not what. I think it's the how, which is, how do we do this and how do we remove the friction? I think that's the key challenge. We need to shift the paradigm, and we have gotten used to a certain way of delivering prospects and converging and all that. And I think where we missed the boat is, resources are limited. So we're always short of resources, and to make the resources work harder, I think this is really the thing which is required. We expect things at doorstep, and cars will be no different. So we got to catch up fast.
So cars will be no different, but what about bikes? The other thing we learned was you guys have a tough time because if somebody can afford a bike, then they say, hey, why not wait and get a car, right? So what do you do? What can you do about that?
First of all, I think it's a very, very nice subject for today's audience. Fantastic subject, zero friction. So as an engineer myself, I'm very happy with the word friction because till now we only learned about losses. Now, just to update, we sell motorcycle much more expensive than the cars.
Premium. I'm talking, you're representing two-wheelers here. You're representing,
So if you look at this journey, I think, first of all, thanks to KPMG for really, really putting out the data there because I'm an engineer myself and I believe marketing has a lot of jargons and there's no analysis behind it. I think what we predominantly saw today, there's some analysis, there's some understanding, and thereby you can put an action plan to take care of those losses. I'm really not surprised with the percentages which are being shown there because today there's a particular pie. Everybody wants to attack that pie, and there are only 3 ways to attack that pie of market share, either by the brand, either by the activation, either by promoting the product with finance, tactical options, or connecting with the consumer. I think in the whole journey which I saw today for the luxury and premium motorcycle brand, I think our journey starts when the purchase is done, the frictional losses.
I think that we've understood, and I think that's been made very clear for the last 60 to 90 minutes that this is the future. But, this is also an opportunity for guys like Facebook. How is it that you all can make all of this relevant?
No, thank you for the analogy, but I think making flirting successful is certainly not my KRA. But let me give you an interesting point, right? So I think what's happening in the time, and I spoke about it when I opened the session, consumers are now expecting you to talk to them the way they want to be talked to because there's enough information. They've told you what they want, right? So I think that's the changing paradigm. And all industries that are recognized and moving there are only getting more and more profitable. So the way we see this at Facebook is how do you become relevant in the entire marketing funnel? So say you're out in the market for a car. So if I talk to you with a communication that's targeted towards the working lady, versus always on vanilla communication that could just fit everybody, the chance of you converting and being resonant on that awareness communication are far higher. So that's one way of, say, reducing friction on the awareness funnel. Similarly, if I move down to the consideration funnel, you need more information about the car. Would you want to call up a call center and wait for someone to explain this to you? Or because I know you're a certain kind of customer, can I serve you that kind of communication there up front and at least take you to maybe a site or something else and tell you this is the information about the car and inform you so you walk in there. In fact, in one of the previous studies we did, 70% of the people who walked into a showroom already knew which car and which brand to buy.
I'm going to go to Mrityunjay now. So we've all got the highlights of your fantastic report. We're talking about how to reduce friction. I'm going to move on to some of the points he touched upon, including after sales, accessories, etc. And if you're ever going to actually see cars coming in a box to us from an e-commerce site or a bike, of course. But what would your advice be? You've got the marketing heads of these auto giants here. You've got this audience here. What would be the one big advice that you can give based on your report?
I think the key out here is simplicity. So I think what's important is how the message gets across. The second part is ability to do research, because research equals to purchase, especially in this segment, because you're getting into details to figure out, all the various aspects of awareness, consideration, intent. And thirdly, and most importantly, I think while we've discussed this entire reduction of friction, there is one uncontrollable element that this group has to deal with. And I think that's the most critical, at least for now, and that's the quality of the network which all your consumers access. So that's important for us to understand, because that whole circle of not being able to access may not be your problem, but that will cause friction. And what is the best work around those areas is something that also needs to be looked at.
Puneet, that's a very relevant point. And do you think that only when we see the back end and the network really sorted, when you also get cell phones which don't just have, let's say, a Facebook or just a WhatsApp which is preloaded and that's the only apps that they can have, is that when we're going going to see, auto companies maybe spend more than 8 times on digital?
Well, actually, I'll just like to carry on with what Mrityunjay just said. And I think at Hyundai, we have following a principle of 3C approach, as we call it. And the 3C approach simply just stands for communication, it stands for convenience, and it stands for connectivity. So whether the kind of websites, what we are developing, the kind of communication which goes to the customer, it has to be very seamless and very simple. That's what we get from the KPMG report. And the second is the connectivity. How seamlessly is he able to browse, not only on the corporate website, but I have 450 dealers. Is he able to browse through those dealer websites? That's something which is very close to our heart. Apart from our corporate websites, we are also maintaining a lot of websites which are dealer-oriented websites. So that's the kind of journey which we have been focusing on, and it's great that we have been able to achieve a lot of into that since the last year. And now our endeavor would be to further strengthen our focus and resources. As you said, investment definitely will keep on increasing. So, we are actually now going to adopt our website on a very big global platform, which is called the WWN3 platform. That will also help to a lot of social plugins, and the personalization of the website can happen with the customer itself.
But I think consumer is becoming more and more aware and maybe reticent that, what is going to happen. And I think we got to engage with the consumer in their terms.
I wanted to add on what Mrityunjay said, in terms of what you can put on the mobile and thereby make it accessible. See, we cater to the millennials and all HNIs, and today consumers are on move, whether you like it or not. I think they want you to catch where they are, and they want you to catch where they're going to be next, whether they're in social media or they're physically somewhere else. We do deliver bikes in the crates, by the way, and we do deliver them like you deliver a good suit or a good dress. We do deliver bikes.
A really big pizza.
Or a really big pizza. And it's a really fantastic moment when we deliver those bikes in boxes, because we are a luxury and premium motorcycle brand. We could afford to have a network only in 16 towns in India, and India is pretty large. And we see almost 80% of our content by our consumers is shared on mobile. And when you look at our internet data or our website data, almost 70% of our users come from mobile. So mobile is something which is really, really going to be the in thing.
So I guess with that, I think time's up, so we'll wrap up. But thanks so much for the insights, and good luck figuring out how to achieve this big goal that you have set out in front of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
The last session was aimed at highlighting the solutions for the auto sector. Here are the highlights.
As a marketer, what would be the ideal mantra to solve this relevancy problem? It could be a targeting system which is designed to reach people, only the people who have the purchasing power to buy your brand, right? As car manufacturers, as premium motorcycle makers, this becomes the filter through which you can then slice your audience. The next filter then becomes, is there a way that I can reach out to those people who are only in the research phase of their journey? Now, given the long conversion cycles that we face in the industry, typically 90 days for cars and 30 to 45 days for bike, it becomes very important for us to isolate these people from the people who are in market, immediately ready to book a vehicle within the next 15 to 20 days. How do we differentiate and isolate these people for our marketing campaigns? So this is currently how we are thinking, all of us in the room, right? The traditional marketing funnel. In our tasks, in our actions that we take, we almost take a siloed approach. Awareness and consideration is the job of mass media, while performance, which typically relates to acquisition and purchase, will be driven by these highly measurable mediums like digital. What does this lead to? One thing, it definitely leads to duplication. The other thing for us marketeers, it leads to wastage. How can we solve that using a Facebook funnel journey? Is by offering a through the funnel, mapping a through the funnel journey for the consumers who are here on Facebook. How do we do that? We already saw the intent signals that are available for our consumers. For each stage of that intent signal, there is a suitable creative format which we've experienced success with in the auto industry.
With the launch of the Zero Friction Future program, businesses can adopt relevant mobile marketing strategies to offer seamless purchase experiences and win consumers on the go.
Partnered by Times Influence.